Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 9, Known Facts. What a novel concept. We're going to deal with some facts because things are still popping up in my news feed that are not 100% correct. There are things that are popping up saying confirmed, legit, all of the above. There's a new strategy that's out there, and I'm going to have to warn you guys about that strategy. Many of you know it, but we do get sucked into the whole clickbait thing from time to time, so that's going to be a little bit of topic. We're going to funnel some things down, and you know what? Maybe it's not as sexy and beautiful to deal with what we know, and just to, we do like to throw a line out there every once in a while and speculate, but there's a difference between speculating and putting out false narratives and putting out things that just have no relevance to the story whatsoever. There's a couple that showed up. I want to talk about that. But before I get too fired, it's too late. I'm fired up. I didn't have a full cup of coffee. I had half a cup of coffee, and I'm already working on an orange edition too. So I guess I'm like triple caffeinated. How about that Patreon Army up there on the screen? What an amazing group of people. The Patreon Army supported this channel for years and years and years. Thank you for everything that you guys do, making these streams possible. And also those PDL sponsors. Who was here last night for Play Dead Live? We went about 2 hours. Went about an hour Freestyle Friday and about 2 hours with Play Dead Live. I got a lot of really, really good responses from last night. There were a lot of people involved. The game, there was some simplicity. There was some good decision making. But I had a great time doing it, and hopefully you guys had a great time participating in it. And those of you that had a chance to watch it back, I hope that you guys had a chance to watch it back. I am going to, in future streams, I put a Q&A, a poll on our Facebook fan page, wanting to know what you guys want to know about Play Dead Live, what questions are still out there. So that's we'll do an official Q&A, I guess, a little bit later on. But as long as you guys are having a good time with it, that's really all that matters with the gameplay. So how's everybody doing this morning? Who's like super caffeinated? I saw somebody, it was just kind of scrolling a little bit ago, that said they had a whole pot of coffee already. That's a lot of coffee. And Crawfish, I don't know, Crawfish, did you make it back? But I was really looking forward to Andre the Giant last night. I'm disappointed that you were not there. But I did look up the Major League Peel poster, so I'm up to speed on that. And also Princes of the Universe. I cut and pasted some lyrics up there for you as well, Crawfish. So just let you know I'm doing a little bit of my homework. All right, what's the purpose of the known facts and the intent to put that all in capital letters? So I'm not going to, I don't like to call out other streams by name. And in some cases, it would mean that I would have to sit through 15 minutes of fake misinformation, which is why I don't watch a lot of other streams out there, even if they claim to know something. And furthermore, a lot of them put the exact thing on the title. But this particular stream was titled, it was a month ago, and it just showed up in my news feed. And it was something along the lines of, Eugene talks to Rick, and Michonne goes to find Rick. That was I swear to you, that's what the title was. The time of that video, I can tell you there were zero confirmed spoilers even suggesting that. So this person just decided to come up with their own narrative and say, this is the way it happened and it is confirmed. Now, the trick that a lot of people are using these days is somebody is writing an article about it, which is fake, and then somebody's doing a video on it, and they're using that as their hidden source. And they're not saying it's confirmed by the masses. They're saying it is confirmed by someone. So I want to ask you guys, how do you feel about that? So, for example, if Emmy said to me, hey, Kills, Daryl is going to kill Negan. And then I come to all of you and say, hey, it's confirmed Daryl is killing Negan according to my source. I mean, that is some of the most lame-ass stuff that you could ever put together. And I don't know that I want to have a crusade on it. All I'm saying is, one, if people put that in the title, I would block them, and I would thumbs down, and I would tell them, you're a clickbait faker, and stop watching their videos 20, 30, 40,000 times. The only way you're going to get rid of that information is to stop buying into it. And, one thing I'm proud to say about our audience, and when we transitioned from a lot of 10-minute videos to live streams, I think there's a higher ethical standard that we put in place. One, with how we talk about storylines, how we warn people that if I have information and it is confirmed, I will tell you it's confirmed. I will put spoiler. We'll put links on our Facebook fan page. We'll tell people 3 days prior, don't watch, could have potential spoilers. I mean, it doesn't mean that you're not going to run into it at some point in place, because you are, because everybody's going to do a video on it. But I do think that there should be a higher standard on trying to let people know. Our audience, I don't like to categorize, but I guess I could. And look, let's just do a quick survey now. How many people love spoilers? I mean, just love them. Don't answer if you don't love them. I'm just asking. Love them. You want to talk about them. You dig into them. They're fun. That's me. I'm in that group. And I love them because I love them at the right time, right? I don't love them too early. I love talking about the show, and then I just like to have the answers a little bit later on so we can talk about it. And then I've got another half of my audience that doesn't like spoilers. Totally cool with it. One thing that I'll never do is I'm never going to judge people based on what they like and what they don't like. So why would I? And that's why I think it's so important to have your opinion and have these streams. These streams on Saturday morning when we're not, there's no pressure from the week and there's no show on, are some of my favorites, because I get all your ideas included in here, and they're without the confirmation that this and this and this is going to happen. But at the same time, I do know that we got a couple people that, hey, on that Thursday night, when we got the information a couple days early, I know some people, they're turning off social media. Totally cool. So with that kind of preface to what we're talking about, and hopefully you guys can get the gist of the message today, I want to talk about known facts. And if the known facts are boring to you, tune out right now. So this is what we do know. We know that Eugene has not talked to Rick at this point. So videos suggesting that happened. And ironically, I think one of the videos suggested that it was going to happen in either episode 7 or 8. Wrong. And I think that's where the kind of the cliche comes into effect. This video didn't age well. This tweet didn't age well. So something showed up in my news feed, and it didn't age well because it was only a few weeks ago, and they were citing it as confirmed. How they still have a channel on YouTube, I have no idea, if you keep putting confirmed things up there that are not confirmed. But Eugene did make contact. That we know. That is a known fact. We heard the voice at the other end. So what we also know is we don't know that was the Commonwealth. We assume it's the Commonwealth. So he's talking to Stephanie on the other end of the line. No idea what group she's affiliated with, just our own devices, our own assumptions. What we also know is that Eugene was warned. He was warned, if you tell anybody about our conversation, that's it. There is no more talk. That's what we know. Tom Bug Ferreira, why does Eugene look so worried in the thumbnail? It looks like he's seen some stuff. Well, one, the thumbnail is completely unrelated. It's a splice, right? It's not current. Eugene's not sitting in a chair. That's a Eugene look. It could be someone told Eugene that there's an Impossible Whopper at Burger King that doesn't use real beef. And that's the look he gets on his face. So what we hear and what we know, for fear of a better word, of spreading a bunch of misinformation, is Eugene was warned not to talk to anyone. So a logical storyline would be that Eugene did talk to someone. And it isn't about Rick. Michonne is already on a boat with Virgil. Eugene is going to be around Rosita. So what would make the most sense if we use our known facts and try to put a theory out there, not confirmed, but I feel pretty strongly about it, is that Eugene may open up to Rosita about the group that he made contact with. So if this were to happen, I want you to put potential outcomes of things that you think would happen next. And you guys all do me a favor. We got a ton of people here. If you guys are having fun with Play Dead Live, with Mashup Mondays, random things, What If Wednesdays, and Coffee with Killshot, do me a favor. Slap that like button. Slap it down like it is a full cup of hot coffee and you just saw some clickbait and you're pissed off. Hit that like button. Commodore Crawfish says, Eugene contacted for Monster Truck Rally confirmed. Well, Crawfish, I'm not sure about the quite size of those wheels, but I would say that I would be rolling on dubs, hypothetically speaking. All right, so everybody's hitting the like button. We're good to go. So Eugene doesn't seem to be the person that would kind of blab, right? He's just not going to run to somebody and talk about who he talked to. But if Eugene felt a love connection or a online love connection, Eugene's got some Match.com stuff happening on the radio. Could his storyline potentially be the guilt or the, and I'm not going to say it's, with Eugene, it's an after-sex revelation, but with Eugene, it might be much, much more minor. It may be like an after-kiss revelation. You know, he maybe gets a little kiss from Rosita, and then he goes typical full-scale geek mode and has to open up about his indiscretions that he's been talking to someone on the radio. This seems so typical for a Eugene story, right? He holds it inside. He needs a reason to open up. So I would say it's more likely that Eugene gets a closeness to Rosita, tells her about the radio, and what do you think Rosita's reaction would be if Eugene told her? Let's think about the character of Rosita and talk about what we know. What would Rosita's reaction be? We'll get a few thoughts in chat. And then I'm going to give you a very, very bold reaction from my standpoint. Absolutely, Ron, absolutely. This relationship could be aflame and get peed on right at the start because maybe she trusts him, gives him a little kiss, they have a connection, he tells her about that, and then immediately it's going to be, Sadiq could have been still alive if you would have told me about this. She's going to get so mad that I don't think it's even a competitor. I think she's going to be pissed off because if they had the resources to ask for help, then That's going to change the entire. Eugene might get his opportunity and get his opportunity taken away from him just like that. And Mist, I don't know that Rosita comes across as the jealous type. I think she comes across to me as a person that's in the moment. And if Eugene's talking to somebody else, I don't know that that's the deep-rooted issue. But I'm going to tell you, I think Rosita, all these things, what Rosita likes to do, which I think a lot of us like to do, we like to go back and look at cause and effect. Well, if we would have just had this, this would have happened. If I would have just known this, this could have happened. So Eugene's never-ending storyline is that he can never be the full-fledged hero because he's always a little bit sneaky. And this is a little bit sneaky. When he was with Negan, he was a little bit sneaky. So it's part of his character. Crawfish, what are the odds Eugene contacted Paul with Sprint? I have no problem with him contacting Paul from Sprint as long as the chick with the megaphone doesn't start screaming in his ear from about, I don't know, 6 inches away. Do you love it, Paul? Do you love it, Paul? Yeah. You know, Paul gets his look on his face like he's permanently deaf. I have no choice but to love it. That commercial alone, if I was a Sprint user, would have made me change my long-distance service to AT&T. Just that annoying, obnoxious party streaming megaphone in the background. I get it. It's a play on "Can you hear me now?" Certainly clever. That creativity is not lost on me, Crawfish. So, a couple more bullet points I have with why the narrative doesn't work for Eugene. Eugene then potentially could have a consolation prize. All right, so Rosita's pissed. Somebody probably storms in, gets on the radio. Roger, Mayday, Mayday. Who's out there? Who's listening? So if Rosita goes ballistic and runs over to the radio, I'm not saying she's going to tear up the radio. What happens with Stephanie on the other end of the radio once Rosita storms in there and starts trying to make contact? We have been warned, right? She basically said, no mas, which to me is perfect, because what it allows us to do is put, if that is truly the Commonwealth, which we don't know yet, it is another group, but if it is the Commonwealth, it allows the writers to put that story on hold until we get through the Whisperer War, which I think is appropriate. I like the way they set it up. I like the satellite. I like the radio. I like the warning. I don't think any of this storyline was overbearing. I think it all works. But Eugene is just not going to open up to anyone. If he opens up to Rosita, she takes matters in her own hands. She knows they need help. She's pissed off. She wants to win the war. She's going to do whatever. That is kind of a parallel storyline. But we've been warned, no contact. So the contact goes off. So if the contact goes off, and we know that Eugene has not talked to Rick yet, what would be a nice consolation prize for Rosita and Eugene? If the Rick storyline has taken a different turn and it's 8 years later and the Commonwealth storyline has been put on hold, what's the consolation to the radio? Who can Eugene contact that could come in and make a difference in the Whisperer War? Some of you are reluctant to type it. I get it. I think Maggie. We've got to have a reintroduction of Maggie at some point. So my prediction would be that once the other paths lead to a dead end, the group is desperate. Maggie needs a re-entry point. This is the re-entry point for her to get back into the show. Michonne's finding Rick. The Commonwealth has been put on hold. We know that we need to bring Maggie back somehow, some way. To me, all three narratives work. It's what we know, and I think we can base a solid foundation based on the known facts. Because what would you approximate is the age of Rick Grimes when he was taken off the show via helicopter? Let's get some ages in here. Let's get some approximations. And I want to use age because I think it's important to think through that. Rosita walks on Eugene in middle of confab. Awkward. I missed it, crawfish. All right. Kel, I think you're a little generous. Ron, I think you're a little generous. 42? I would say on the other side of 40s, based on Carl's age, Rick's look, I'd say 45 to 46-ish. I think some of you are just trying to keep Rick in his 40s after the time skip. That ain't happening. Rick is certainly in his 50s after the time skip. So I would say somewhere between 45 to 48 range. So with that being said, now we've got a Rick Grimes that is 52 to 55. So 52 to 55, nothing wrong with 52 to 55. But Eugene hearing him over the radio and then finding a way to communicate with Michonne's walkie-talkie that may be 2 days away on an island is a stretch. And then being able to articulate all of that. So this is why the Eugene hearing Rick, communicating it to Michonne, Michonne relaying the information and taking off doesn't work. Because I would think that if Eugene talked to Rick, it's like, hey, Michonne, Roger, you out there? I have the confirmed. Eugene's going to use the word confirmed like it's a YouTube clickbait video. So if Eugene calls Michonne on the radio and says, guess what? I just talked to Rick Grimes. I have his location. Come on. That is a watered down nothing burger. Ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. For Michonne to leave and find Rick, would you agree it is going to be through first-hand knowledge? If you're going to make the call to go out and hunt for Rick 8 years later? You're going to do it based on a relay conversation that Eugene told you that he heard something? No. You're not going to do that. So I want to ask the group here. It does crawfish, but we don't need Eugene for that. Because if Michonne is on that island, she may get better reception and firsthand knowledge herself. This is why I don't think the Eugene story even works now that he's in Alexandria with Rosita, and now that Michonne is 2 days away in the other direction. So I don't think we need Eugene for that story. So I want to ask the group here, in all seriousness, think about your age 8 years ago. And tell me a person, a place, a thing, a connection, or something that you had 8 years ago that is still vivid to you, like extremely vivid. A lot of you probably can't remember 8 years ago, which is okay. But it's difficult. So for Michonne to leave Judith and RJ and stuff behind, even for a temporary basis, knowing that there's some danger out there, and not bringing those weapons back, it's got to be something that strikes a nerve. It's got to be something that she knows without a shadow of a doubt. It's got to either be Rick's voice on her radio, visual evidence of Rick on that island, but not a relay communication of something that Eugene heard. Does not work at all. Does not work at all. And then there's a whole list of other questions of why 8 years? Why couldn't Rick come back? Why is Rick just calling now? I mean, there's a whole bunch of other questions that Michonne is not going to be on the show long enough to answer. One more episode from Michonne. How much can we pack into that episode? Michonne goes to the island. She loads up a bunch of weapons. She comes back. She goes to Alexandria. She gets on the radio. She has a conversation with Eugene. She packs back up. She leaves again. She gets on another boat. I don't see all that happening in one episode. It's just something that we've got to start to come. You can extend that episode for 3 hours, Ron. I don't think you can make an episode. That's a movie. And tell the story without a whole lot of plot holes. And let me remind you, she hasn't even gotten to the island yet. If she was on the island and fully packed, no, it still wouldn't work. But she hasn't even gotten there yet. And I've got to assume the island is going to be somewhat eventful. I don't think the island is just going to be, this boring episode where she pops in. It's like, hey, thanks, fist bump, load it up, peace out, Virgil, nice talking to you. We didn't go through all of this stuff with Virgil hijacking a library, getting captured, to go back into that situation. So, nerd, you bring up a good point, which is exactly why she needs to go to the movies. But there's a problem. with the movies. She's got to wait for the movie to catch up to where she's at right now because the movies are 8 years behind. So no matter how we slice it, we're ahead of the game here. And then I'll throw this out there to see if we've drilled down to this. If there are 3 movies, let's just say that there will be 3. There's been rumors there would be as many as 3. They could cut it down. Which movie do you think, if Michonne were to appear in the Walking Dead movies, which movie do you think she would appear in? If you say the first movie, it's going to be extremely, extremely difficult. Okay, a lot of people are saying the second movie. Okay. If the first movie comes out in the fall of 2020, when do you think the second movie is going to come out? See, this is the thing that just freaking lights my fire. Because we do these videos and nobody actually thinks through when they're doing these. 2022. I'm sorry. What season is The Walking Dead going to be in 2022? Somebody chime in. But we have other confirmed hidden sources that The Walking Dead is going to end after season 12. Come on, people. This is bullshit. I mean, I don't have any other word to describe it. You've got, the first movie's not even made yet. We're talking about Michonne maybe making it in the second movie, but we're going to be doing Walking Dead movies after The Walking Dead has supposedly ended after season 12. Come on. I mean, do people not have enough common sense to think through this stuff? The writers certainly do, which is why the writers aren't coming out saying we're ended it in 2 seasons. At a minimum, the show has to last 4 seasons to make up for the movie lines. Unless you feel like movie number 1 is going to give you an 8-year time span and be like, Rick, oh, Michonne showed up. Now, maybe it happens, but she ain't there filming it as far as we know. Right, Tom, I agree. This is some BS. It just, you know what? It just makes me mad that we don't break these things down to a common sense philosophy. I mean, these are the facts. When you focus on what we know, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to come up with a path or a theory than just to read somebody that wrote an article with 0 sources and then the internet goes crazy and you get a bunch of misinformation out there. Hey, everybody, there's always a chance. Everybody could turn off their television, stop watching the show. All right, fair enough. I just got a crawfish just gave me I got a red flag. I just got Captain America warning. All right, I'll keep it PG. But we know Michonne is on a boat. We know she's going toward an island. We know that those things take time. Even sitting on a boat, talking to Virgil is going to take 5 to 10 minutes of an episode, and then you got to go to a commercial, right? I mean, hey, Virgil, is that a shark? No, just looks like a seahorse. What? What do you mean? How can a seahorse look like a shark? I don't know. I haven't eaten in 3 days. I'm a little bit lightheaded. I don't know what they're going to talk about on the boat. I have no idea. All I know is you can't just put them on the boat and then speedboat and then they're on the island. if we've got an hour and 15 minutes, the boat ride takes time. You got to get out and stretch. Somebody's going to have to pee when they get off the boat. Then you got to grab a drink. Then, hey, where's the weapons? Then you got to talk about what weapons. Then you got to load them back up. And then you got to figure out the whole boat situation, if the boat will hold all the weapons, if the boat will make it back. I mean, there's a lot of things that have to happen. But you can't just say it happened and then fast forward, next thing you know, after 2 commercial breaks, Michonne's back in Alexandria, because I'm going to say, wow, how did it take Luke and Judith and Scott like 2 episodes to ride back, but yet Michonne did it in 2 minutes between commercial breaks. We're G-rated. All right, it's going to have to go G-rated for a crawfish's son. Baby crawfish. Veggie Tales. So if we take the common sense philosophy and what we know to Michonne's journey, and we also take it to when the movie supposedly is going to be out, what we think could happen in the movie, when the next movie is going to come out. Now, I know Kel and Emmy have a side bet. How many people think, heck with it, Michonne's just going to die? How many people here just think Michonne's going to die and then we don't have to worry about that awkward transition of 3 years to the movie? Because if Michonne dies, I guess in theory, you could kill off the show in 2 seasons. Anybody think that's possible? I don't. However, I'm sure that by January, if you look in your YouTube news feed enough, you're going to see somebody saying, Michonne gets eaten by Jaws, drowns, confirmed. Because somebody's going to say it, somebody's going to write it, and then about 20 different people are going to do videos about it. So technically, I guess it would be confirmed because some wacko actually wrote an article about it. Absolutely right. And you know, I want to get to the point of it. 2 points actually. Read Crawfish's comment and read the Walking Dead Nerd's comment back to back. Walking Dead Nerd says, I don't see the universe going anywhere anytime soon. And Crawfish says, no, that means they will lose money. It is still a money-making business. It is not, we're going to tell this story from the goodness of our heart, and otherwise, if they were going to just tell the story from the goodness of their heart, then you wouldn't have to watch any ads. But ads are good. And certainly, content creators appreciate when you watch the ads. It's a source of revenue. And Julia, I would say, I would disagree to an extent with that. I don't think it's all about the money, but I do think the money provides a better story, additional resources, and the ability to mix it up from time to time. So I think it's a combination of the money and the story has to be good. You don't keep a show going for 10 years without both. But I don't think you can have one without the other. Because, hey, people that try that and shows that try that, they struggle. One of the toughest, and I'll give you guys firsthand account of that. One of the biggest changes in our channel that we made a couple years ago was real-time interactive forums. And I will tell you that it was more lucrative to spam 10-minute videos to let people view them and to whether they were gaming videos or Walking Dead videos, and videos that you get 1 million, 2 million views on. But I will tell you that live streaming and live formats keeps our content interesting, still works financially because we still have people that will watch the ads and we have people that sponsor the channel. But it gives us a different level of involvement that a lot of other places don't have. And it was a tough decision. And I remember, with the mods talking about the direction our channel was going to go. And this is what we wanted to become, is involving people and creating a group. And we also knew that we'd have people from other channels and people that would come in and just that are harder to manage. But we've weeded a lot of that out, and we have a good core group of people. Gushy Gushy, an example of that, with a nice little super sticker doing a little dance. And Crawfish hyping it up. And, I do have to ask you guys, because Crawfish is hyping it. How many people were a little disappointed that Crawfish was not here in PDL last night playing the role of Andre the Giant? I know I personally was, because I had a little something set to the side for Andre the Giant. It was in my notes. But yeah, I was looking forward to that. But we did have a great time with Play Dead Live. Thank you so much, Goucher. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys and everything that you guys do. A lot of fun last night. We are going to wind this thing down. In the next PvP, I hope you guys, I do want to see Crawfish playing the role of Andre the Giant, because I think we need that. Just a couple quick announcements before we wind this thing down and let everybody get out, do some stuff on your Saturday. Thank you once again. I had a tremendous time with the Play Dead Live group last night. It was something that we've never done. We included everyone in the stream, so everyone that was there had the opportunity to participate. It was a little... we had a system set up. It was a lot of things to keep up with in the beginning, but it kind of narrowed down really, really quickly, and I think it got to exactly where we wanted. We're keeping the game simple. But, I can't say this enough, that the sponsors, the Patreons, the channel members, the super chatters, the moderators, you guys are the reason why we keep doing this. And truth be told, you're the reason why we're not doing 10-minute videos to pop in and only listen to my perspective. We want to do something completely different, and you guys make every stream unique, because I never know what you guys are going to talk about. I never know how a PDL is going to end. I have a script written out, but no Play Dead Live scenario has ever stuck to our script. And we could probably play the exact same scenario back, and it would end up differently again, just because of the uniqueness and the involvement of each one of you. Crawfish, I'm going to get my last super chat in here, says, was at a company Christmas party, had to be there. No worries. I know you guys can't make every stream, and I'm certainly appreciative when you guys do. If you guys want to see, Ron, I don't want to embarrass you, but if you guys get a chance, something very moving to me was Father Ron Burgundy Moore put a post on Facebook, and I do read most of the posts that are there, but it was about his first experience in PDL when he first became Father Ron, and how his decision-making has evolved from that. It is wonderfully written. Thank you so much, Ron. I appreciate the characters being larger than life to you guys. That really is the intent. That, having your alter ego participate in these. Some are serious, some are funny, some are going to hoard gear and weapons, some are going to give things away. I absolutely love it. There is no right way to play your character. You play your character however you want to play it. But at the end of it, the goal is everybody needs to watch their back and everybody needs to have a good time. And I will say, you guys are lucky that Tommy didn't walk in that final room with a couple hand grenades, because Tommy would have definitely been all about himself. There's no doubt about that. And you know what? I love Tommy for it. I mean, if that's the way you play your character, play it and play it with some passion. Last announcement, and I did run this past Emmy, but I do have some concept art that you know what? I'll let you make your own judgment. I don't think it's over the border, but I will say it puts Emmy in a light that is very unique. So stay tuned for that. I cleared it with Emmy before we posted it. I think you guys will like it. It doesn't have all the text. It doesn't have all the stats. She is just going to be known merely as Emmy. No last name, no titles. Absolutely. Hopefully you guys appreciate it. But look forward to that. We'll show up on the Facebook fan page a little bit later on today. All right, everybody. Enjoy your Saturday. Thanks for being here. We will be back at 8 o'clock tomorrow with a Walking Dead topic. I know people are having withdrawals, so enjoy the rest of this evening, tomorrow morning, and be back here at 8 o'clock for a little Walking Dead chat. Crawfish, I love my dead family. You're all the best, and thank you. Appreciate you, Crawfish, and every one of you guys, too. Tremendous group. And, one more thing. How about the green team? Can I get a shout out on the way out the door for Kimberly M. and Crystal, the singer chick? They are super fans of the month. I know we got a lot of stuff going on. We have super fans. We have moderators. We got sponsors. We got members. Tremendous support all the way around. But we will reset. We're going to have brand new super fans in January as well. But we got a lot of streams between now and the end of the year. So let's show a little bit of love to the singer chick and also Kim. Thank you so much, everybody. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Peace.